Reading from the Holy Gospel according to Saint Matthew, chapter 14, verses 22 to 33. Immediately, he made the disciples get into the boat and go on ahead to the other side, while he dismissed the crowds. And after he had dismissed the crowds, he went up the mountain by himself to pray. When evening came, he was there alone. But by this time the boat, battered by the waves, was far from the land, for the wind was against them. And early in the morning he came walking towards them on the sea. But when the disciples saw him walking on the sea, they were terrified, saying, "It is a ghost," and they cried out in fear. But immediately Jesus spoke to them and said, "Take heart, it is I. Do not be afraid." Peter answered him, "Lord, if it is you, command me to come to you on the water." He said, "Come." So Peter got out of the boat, started to walking on the water, and came toward Jesus. But when he noticed the strong wind, he became frightened, and beginning to sink, he cried out, "Lord, save me." Jesus immediately reached out his hand and caught him, saying to him, "You of little faith, why did you doubt?" When they got into the boat, the wind ceased, and those in the boat worshipped him, saying, "Truly you are the Son of God." The Gospel of the Lord. Friends, in the Gospel passage we heard just now, disciples encountered Jesus in the midst of the sea. When the disciples were going to the other side of the sea, Jesus came towards them walking on the water. It proves the divinity of Jesus. But disciples thought it was a ghost and cried out in fear, because the Israelites had considered the sea as the domain of evil powers. Immediately, Jesus called out to them and told them to be brave. "It's I, don't be afraid." At that time, Peter took courage to confirm whether it was really Jesus. He said, "Lord, if it is you, command me to come to you on the water." Jesus said, "Come." Peter trusted in the beginning and got into the water. But as he walked ahead, his faith was not sufficient to withstand the wind. Moreover, he shifted his focus from Jesus to the waves, and he started to drown. But we must appreciate him, for he was humble enough to cry to Jesus, "Lord, save me." And Jesus reached out his hand and saved him. And other disciples also believed and worshipped Jesus, saying, "Truly, you are the Son of God." Dear friends, in our day-to-day life, there are many things which can disturb us. It could be a sickness, a financial crisis, a sudden death of our dear ones, or a betrayal by the friend. There are storms that rage in our lives every day. These are the moments through which Jesus sends us ahead to test our faith. These storms could also be the result of our abandoning Jesus, but Jesus always walks with us. He protects us through various people, but do we recognize him? Of course, it is not easy to, for which we need to have constant and intimate relationship with him. At times, we may believe on our own abilities and capacities. There could be many who search for alternative source other than Jesus, but they will not stand in the storms of our life. The greatest tragedy could be, though we are drowning, we may not call out Jesus. When we do not have trust in the Lord, how can we cry out to him? But we must remember, Jesus is always there reaching out his hand towards us. It's only we who have to hold his hand. He will surely lift us up. Only those who trust in the Lord and fix their gaze on him can overcome the challenges and waves in their lives.